I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. In today's video, we're going to be trying out a bunch of different adhesives to make glitter Christmas ornaments. Now, I did this video forever ago, but I thought that we would do a little bit of an updated version using a little bit of a different color glitter. We're going to be using some red glitter from StarCraft, and I'll go over each of the adhesives really quick for you as well. We have Tacket, we have the StarCraft PURECOAT, Mod Podge, Mop and Glow. We also have Maker's Magic, Polyacrylic, which is my personal favorite. Then we have Glitter It, Elmer's Glue, and some hairspray, which is one that I see people like say works all the time. And then I also have some water here because I do need to water a couple of these down. Then I've got a funnel to help me get the glitter into our ornaments. And then I have a few cups here that we can use to drain our ornaments in, a Sharpie to mark them, and of course our ornaments. We're going to be using some plastic ones from Michaels. And now I'll link everything that we use in this video down below in case you want to try out anything or there's something that you think you want to purchase after we give these all a test. Now I am going to allow the ornaments to dry overnight for 24 hours before I show you what they look like in our final section. So just be prepared for that and make sure that you're subscribed here. That way you don't miss out on any of the crafty content we have coming. Let's go ahead and get started. I've got 9 ornaments, so the first thing that I want to do is to pop the tops off of all of these, and I want to show you a really quick little trick for these. If you only pop them off partially, these little tops, you'll see that there's this extra set of tabs when you take them off, and what's really helpful is if you just squeeze these and push this top down to that first set of tabs, when you go to put this back into your ornament, you'll just set this on top, push this down, and then it will go right on with no problem. So there's a quick little trick for you while we're taking the tops off of these. I'm gonna just stick these in a cup to the side and we will get all the tops off, and then we're gonna be ready to put all of our adhesive in. Now, of course, we are gonna label these so that we know what we're using each one with. So I'm just gonna use a Sharpie, and we'll start with our first one, which we're gonna be using polyacrylic. So I'm just gonna label this with the word poly. And that way I know what I'm using. I know it's a little hard for you guys to see that I wrote on it, but I did. We're going to be using this color from StarCraft. We're going to be using Tropical Punch. I have 2 jars of it just in case, but we shouldn't need to. They don't take a lot of glitter. And then I have 9 different adhesives over to the side, and we're going to go through each of them and see which one works best. With our poly, this is polyacrylic. I'm using Minwax. I put mine into a small squeeze bottle to make life just so much easier. I am going to give this a little stir in my squeeze bottle. It's been a little bit since I've used it, so I'm just going to give it a little shaky shake. Should be fine. You don't want to shake it too much. You don't want too many bubbles. And then I'm just using these little medicine cups, and I'm going to put the bulb in here upside down to allow it to drain, because you need to drain out any of the excess adhesive that you've used. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take and squeeze a little bit of the polyacrylic. You don't need a lot. You can always add more to it. So I like to use less is more. And then all you do is swirl it around just like so. And you want to make sure that you're evenly coating the entire bulb. Now I am using plastic bulbs. The last time I did this, I used glass and plastic and didn't notice enough of a difference to make me want to use both types of bulbs. Makes it take longer. So I'm just using plastic for this, but as you can see, it kind of move it around and swirl it throughout. And we'll do the same thing for each of the types of adhesive that we're using. Now sometimes I'll let it sit on its side like this for a moment just to gather some of that extra adhesive, and then I'll continue to swirl. So let me finish swirling this. I'm going to put this in the cup to drain, and I'll allow it to drain for usually about 3 or 4 minutes, at least until it stops dripping, and then we can add our glitter. While the poly drips out a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and do our next one, which is our StarCraft PURECOAT. So again, I'm going to go ahead and label this. We're going to label it PURECOAT, and this is the gloss version. I would recommend using gloss versions of anything that you're going to put in these, just so that you make sure that it doesn't end up a little bit messy. Now this one, I don't have it in a pour bottle. I don't have it in like a squeeze bottle. I just have it in a regular one. So we're going to go slow and pour this in. I did give this one a little bit of a shaky stir as well. And then again, you're just going to do that same thing where we're going to just spin it around and get this fully coated with the StarCraft PURECOAT. Now, a few of our products are going to need to be watered down, like the Elmer's school glue. So all I'm going to do is put some glue into a cup. We really don't need a whole lot as I throw that. And then we also are going to use the Tacket Over and Over from Aleene's. And this one, I don't think I've ever opened. So I need to open this one up. And for this one, again, we don't need a lot. I'm just going to put like a glob in there. That should be plenty. And then the other one that really needs to be watered down is our Mod Podge. This is another thick one, so we're going to need to water this one down a little bit too. So we will definitely do that. I'm going to go ahead and close this up. So while we're waiting on those two to drain, we can start watering down these products. I'm going to use my little silicone stir stick. And I'm just going to put a little bit of water. It doesn't take a lot to water these down. Usually a 50-50 ratio is pretty good, but we're just going to kind of guess. And Mod Podge really doesn't need watered down a ton, but some helps. Otherwise, it takes forever to get it through the bulb. So I'm just going to stir this around in the cup. And I am going to label these because otherwise I will totally forget which one's which. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure to label this one with an MP so I know it's Mod Podge. And then this one is the Tacket, so I'm just going to do a T. I know you can't see me writing on these, but I am. And then an E for the Elmer's glue, again, just so I know which one is which. Now I'm going to wipe off my stir stick between each of my watering downs. Now I know Elmer's glue is a little harder to water down because sometimes it doesn't want to mix in with the water as well, so this might take a second, but you just kind of mix it until it's fully dissolved into that water mixture. We've let our poly drain and dry for just a little bit. Now I will say that I don't love these plastic bulbs because they don't drain as well as I would like. So because of that, what I like to do is I give them a little bit of like a roll through my hands just to take that glob that it creates because it won't drain all the way, and I just kind of roll it around just to get that glob out so it's not as obvious, and you can shake it around. Now anything that's left in your cup you can absolutely pour right back into your squeeze bottle, and then we're just going to use a little funnel. I couldn't find my mini funnel, so we're going to use the big funnel. And all we have to do is take our glitter, and I recommend using a finer glitter. It covers better, but you can use a thick one if you want. And I'm just going to pour a little bit in to start. I don't usually do a ton to start because I don't want to waste a lot of glitter. And then I just tap it around my ornament, and then you can just add a little bit more as you go. You can also do the shaking method, which also works really well. So what I do is I just take my thumb, put it over the top, and then you just shake. Just make sure that your thumb is fully covering the top of your ornament, or you might get some glitter where you don't want it. Now, you want to just look and see if there's any spots that look a little bit bare, because we may need to just add a little bit more glitter to this, which is totally fine. Like I said, I don't like to waste a lot of glitter, so I just put a little bit in, and I just kind of add as needed. That way I'm not wasting glitter, and since I know that there's like a blank spot over on this side, I'll just sort of shake it this way, and just shake it around, and I'll get that fully coated. And then I see I've got a little bit of a bald spot over here, so I'm just going to shake a little bit this direction. And I just want to make sure everything is covered, and then you can look inside the bulb and see if you have any loose glitter. If you don't, you can add a little bit more for that little bald spot. It's up to you how you do this. Like I said, I just like to use like very sparing glitter when I go because I don't want to waste a lot. Like this one, you can hear there's a lot of extra glitter in there, which is fine. We can also just pour that right back into a cup and use that for a different project. So we'll do that. I'll just take what's left in here and pour it into a cup. But you can see I'm just shaking it around, getting it really well coated. Once it's coated, you can take and shake out any excess glitter that might be in there. and you can see there really wasn't much left. Now I'm going to put this over to the side and allow it to dry before we put the top on. And then we'll go ahead and do the PURECOAT next. So again, just same thing, going to stick the funnel in, open my glitter, throw some glitter in it. I'm going to do a little bit more in this one just because I didn't want to have to do it 100 times like I did in the last one. And then just shake. And we'll do the same thing for all the ornaments. We're not going to do anything different for any of them. We're going to just apply the glitter the same way and then just shake out the extra. Okay, and again, set this over to the side and allow it to dry. Now, like I said, you can just take what's left over from your polyacrylic and from your PURECOAT and just pour it right back into your container. It's totally fine. I try to save as much of it as I can. You know, the stuff gets expensive. So I'm gonna put these two back and then we'll move on to some of the ones that we've watered down. The next one we're gonna do is our Elmer's glue. So I'm gonna write Elmer's on there. And we're gonna put in the Elmer's glue, which is this one. Now, what's great about these is you can kind of fold them a little bit and turn them into a little spout. And then we can actually just use this cup to actually drain right back into as well. So I'm just gonna get as much of the goo as I can, and you can see it's pretty watery. So then again, you're just gonna do that same thing where you're just gonna run this around and you're gonna coat that entire bulb. Now I will say this is really nice because you can see if you've missed any spots. You can also see that I touched the Sharpie before it was dry, so we've got some little fingerprints on there from me, but that's okay, I'm not worried about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get this one really coated. Now this one is again gonna need to drain for a little bit and dry for a little. So when we do that, we will go and move on to our next one and start kind of swirling that one around, and we'll just get this all coated and we'll make some really beautiful ornaments. Next one is the Tacket, so I'll write Tacket, and this one I'm going to try not to get Sharpie on my fingers. I'll let this dry for just a second. And again, we'll just pour this one right in with our cup. And then we will swirl it around. And again, this one's easy because it does tend to make it a little whiter, so you can see kind of where you've gotten any of the Tacket on there. And then we just swirl it. And this one does move pretty quick just because we did water it down. But I did find not watering it down doesn't move at all, so you definitely want to water it. And again, we're going to let those drain for just a few moments. And while that's draining, we can do the Mod Podge. And again, we'll just pour this one straight in. And then we will, again, swirl this one around. I did get some of this on my fingers, so I'm going to try really hard not to touch the outside, just so I don't get it everywhere. And then I'm going to wipe my hands off before I move on to our next glitter section. Another one that's really popular is Glitter It. So I'm going to try Glitter It. So I'm just going to write down Glitter It on here. And this is from Beacon, so we're gonna give this one a shot. I'm gonna go ahead and actually open the top and not use the squeezy top, because the squeezy top I've never even opened. Get the bubble off of there. And you just want to pour a little bit in. You don't need a lot. I think I might have put a little too much, but that's okay. This stuff is incredibly watery, if you haven't noticed, when you use this type of stuff. This is a really watery adhesive. I'm going to shake this around a little bit. We're just going to swirly swirl. We'll use one of the little medicine cups. Now this one, being as clear as it is, does make it a little harder to make sure that you've covered everything, but you can kind of tell, and you'll see if you see any dry spots. But it also moves really quickly, so you're able to really get this one done pretty fast. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this one all coated, and then we'll go back and glitter the 3 that we watered down. We're gonna go with the Elmer's first. That looks like it drained pretty good. Now I will say that I see a lot of streaking in the coverage, so I'm not sure how well it's going to work, but we're gonna go ahead and try it. That's the point of this video. We're gonna see which of these adhesives works best. So again, I'm just gonna put glitter in there, and I'm gonna shake this around. And I do think I need to add a little bit more glitter into this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little more glitter down. I don't think I put quite enough in. And then take the funnel back out, and again, we'll just give it a good shake. That feels much better. Feels like I got much more glitter in there, which is exactly what I wanted. So I'm just gonna make sure that I shake it up, I shake it down, I shake it all around, because you wanna make sure that you coat your entire ornament. All right, once I'm happy with that, again, I'm just gonna take that excess glitter, tap it off into here. Now I will say that Elmer's glitter is chunky. So I would not recommend using this for any other project, because it is definitely coming out in like hunks. So that is just extra glitter. I'm gonna set that one over to the side, and we're gonna do the Tacket over and over here. And you can see this one also pretty streaky as far as like what actually stuck to our ornament. So we'll give it a shot, see how it goes. I'm gonna go ahead and pour some glitter in. I'm gonna be generous with my glitter in this one. And then I'm gonna shake this around, making sure again that I fully coat it. So you can see I shake it in all the directions. And I do have a little bit of the Tacket on the outside of this from the edge of the cup. So I'm gonna wipe that off while I'm shaking. And once I'm satisfied, I think I got everything. I'm just gonna check it. I'm gonna go ahead and take the rest of that glitter and just tap it out. Again, this glitter comes out a little bit chunky, so I don't think I'd recommend reusing that, but there's the Tacket one. Put that over to the side. And then we will do the Mod Podge and the Glitter It. So I got Mod Podge first. This one definitely stayed very white so far, but Mod Podge does dry clear, so we'll have to wait to see how it looks once we get all of the glitter in it and the adhesive dried. So again, we're gonna shake it, and I wanna make sure I shake it down, I shake it up. Just wanna make sure I'm coating all those spots to be fair and giving it a good coat of glitter. All right, I think we're coated. And then I'm gonna again, just tap out any of that loose that's in there. All right, I think we're good. I'm gonna set that over to the side. And then we're gonna go ahead and do our Tacket, or no, our Glitter It. So this is our Glitter It. So again, funnel, let me move this out of the way. And then we'll put glitter in the Glitter It. And again, this is all the same thing. You're just gonna coat, dry a little bit, drain, and shake. So these are really easy products to make. They're really fun. But I just want to see which one of these is going to perform best for our glitter ornaments. A couple more to go. I've got the Maker's Magic Gloss. We have Hairspray. And then we have the Mop and Glow. So now we're just going to get the last 3 done. So let's do the Maker's Magic first. I'm just going to put MM on this one. And that's going to be our Maker's Magic. Now this one I don't have like a pour spout or anything, so we're just going to chance it. And this is by Scorch Marker. And this is a gloss, so I'm just going to pray. We're going to pour real careful and real slow. I don't have a little funnel, so I don't know how well this is going to go. Oh, this is fine. This is fine. We just got to pour slow. All right, I think that's enough. And we're gonna go ahead and put the lid back on this. I'm gonna set this right here so I don't drop it. Put the lid right back on that, and then again, just swirl it. And then we'll use a little cup and let that drain. While that one drains, we'll fill the Mop and Glow. So this is just Mop and Glow. And this one has a handy dandy little pour spout. Has a little shake. I'm gonna give it a little quick shake just to make sure that it's all good to go. And then we're just gonna take and put our ornament on top and give that a little drainer in there. Now this is, again, another really watery one, so you can swirl this one pretty quickly. I am gonna try to kind of get some of these bubbles to go away and not get those too much into our ornament. You want to try to avoid the bubbles if you can, like these big clumps of bubbles. If I've got too many of them, I'll go through and just kind of keep swirling till those bubbles are all kind of eliminated or caught up into our puddle of product, so that way they don't get stuck like in the glitter, because that can affect the way that your glitter sticks to your ornament. So again, swirly, swirly, swirl, and then we will let this drain. We'll do our last one, which is our hairspray. Get that one ready, and then we can put the glitter in these last three. Hairspray that we're using is just this Aussie Sprunch. I don't know, it says non-aerosol hairspray. It is a medium hold. So all you'll do for this one, because this doesn't obviously have like a pour spout, is you can either spray it in, which I just bought this, so it's not gonna spray right away. Or you can take the top off if you want. It's up to you, whichever way you wanna do it. I'm gonna spray it in, just because I think that's, well, that would have been not least messy if I hadn't slid, but I'm just gonna spray it in. It smells really good. I'm gonna spray it in, and then again, you're just gonna swirl it around. Make sure, ensuring that you get a nice even coating. I will say this is the best smelling of our bunch. I really thought the Mop and Glow would be, but no, this smells like citrusy and really nice. So we're gonna go ahead and get this one all put together, and then we can go ahead and put glitter in the ones that we just did, and then we'll let them sit overnight, and then we'll check them tomorrow. I'm gonna start with the Maker's Magic. And again, remembering we have that stupid little lip on these, which I can't stand, but I didn't want to use glass. So we're gonna go ahead and again, pour the glitter and shake it around. Shaking out any of the loose. And laying that to the side. Got our Mop and Glow, and that one, I'll take this, a bit of glitty. And then last but not least is the hairspray one. So again, put that in, pour the glitter in, and shake it around. Now we're gonna let these sit overnight so that we can allow them to fully dry, and we'll take a look and see which one looks best. So each one is going to have a little segment here. So this is the polyacrylic. And as I said at the beginning, this one is my favorite for a lot of reasons. It goes a really far way. It's super easy to use. It's very accessible, but you can see how nice and even and bright the glitter looks with the polyacrylic. And you'll see that with some of the others, it's not going to look quite as nice. Next up, we have PURECOAT, which I think is going to be the closest thing to polyacrylic. This is from StarCraft. And again, super even coating, really, really bright color to the glitter. I think it did a really nice job. It's easy cleanup. And again, like I said, this is going to be probably the closest to polyacrylic that you can find. Our next one up is our Elmer's glue. This one you can see is not quite as sparkly or bright in color, and there are a few little spots that it didn't take as well, and I do think it looks a little bit patchy in a few spots, but I think in a pinch, if you just want to make some ornaments, and especially if you're doing this with like a class of kids, Elmer's glue might be a really good option. I got a little glue on the outside. I just can wash that off with some water, but I think that the Elmer's glue in the grand scheme of things worked okay. Tacket, Not my favorite. I didn't find this to work quite as well. Again, I don't feel like the glitter is as bright in color. I feel like it's a little bit on the cloudy side. I think it covered okay. I don't see any bald spots or anything like that. I just don't think that it really allows the glitter to be true to color and to truly shine like I wish that it would. Now we have Mod Podge. This is so cloudy. I think it could probably dry a little bit more. You can see right there, there's a huge cloudy spot, but I also don't think it covered very well. I think it was really messy. I'm not a big fan of Mod Podge for this at all, and I think that once it dries, it's gonna have a lot of glitter flake off of it, so I would not recommend Mod Podge for this. Glitter It is another one that I saw a lot of people recommend, and I think it did okay. I think the glitter is bright and shiny. I think that it's really showing true to color, but it was a little bit patchy in a few spots. There's a couple little spots where there's just not thick glitter that I would like. And then here we have our Maker's Magic, and this is by Scorch Marker. This one actually did pretty okay. There's a little spot where I missed, but I think that was on me and not so much on the Maker's Magic. But I think that, again, the glitter is really shining. The color looks really true, and I think it's a good, even coverage product. And I think it's pretty inexpensive for the large jar that you get. Now we have the Mop and Glow. Again, I don't think that glitter is truly shining like it should. It's just a little cloudy. I feel like the Mop and Glow 2 is one that in a year isn't going to hold up as well. And don't worry, I'm going to come back and revisit this in 1 year and see how all of these ornaments held up throughout that time. I don't think the Mop and Glow is going to be a good one, but it will hold probably for the year. And last but not least is the Hairspray. This one is just not great. It's very patchy and it's a little hard to see, but it's pretty patchy. And again, I just don't feel like it's lending the glitter color as well as it should. It's just a little bit cloudy. And this is one that I don't feel like is going to hold up after a long time period. So let's go ahead and do a review. I hope you picked up some tips and tricks to making glitter ornaments and got some information about the different adhesives that people offer as options. These are my personal star ratings on how I feel each adhesive did. I'm going to link all the adhesives that I used down below if you want to find them and try them for yourself. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. Be sure you're subscribed. That way you don't miss out on any of the fun DIY content I have coming. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting.